We already knew what happened with Kylie Swim. Wear and tear. The crack might slip out. I don't know. It wasn't for me. I was like, I don't want those tan lines. Ain't no way looking at this is a medium. But hi, do you guys remember me? I'm Kayla Lachey, and today I'm going to be getting into a bikini try-on from SKIMS Swim, which is one of my favorite places to get my swimwear. It's definitely my most worn, my most used. The silhouettes that I know flatter my body type and my shape the best. It's really hard to just find a matching set that works with a small chest and then bigger built legs without having like a diaper booty. Like, ain't nobody got time for that, and I don't do the thong bottoms. So I love that they have options and you can kind of customize the sets that you want. And my last SKIMS Swim review was not very good. The quality I remember specifically on like their brighter orange, I think it was like maybe a tangerine color, sent back immediately. It had very poor stitching and it just wasn't worth the $44 price point for the individual piece. I remember them coming out with the Roberto Cavalli collab, which I didn't even end up doing a review. I ended up purchasing 3 different sets. They're $88 for the top, $88 for the bottom. I got them in the mail and they didn't really feel any extra luxury for the price point, so I returned, got my money back. That was in January. And then earlier this year with the SKIMS Swim, they kind of released some sets, a few colors with like contrasting double layered vibe. It wasn't for me. I was like, I don't want those tan lines. So I was just like, okay, maybe they'll come out with some newer items. And they ended up dropping a ton of prints and patterns, and that's when I went crazy. So I got 4 different bikini sets to show you guys, and we're gonna try them on. I'm gonna talk about the sizing, and we're gonna look at the quality this time to see how it compares. And then of course I'll pop the link in the description box below so you guys can check out what's new on the SKIMS Swim site. I feel like all the cute stuff and I guess more of the popular colors and the sizes will obviously sell out first, but I noticed that they kind of added some older pieces from earlier in the year in my size, so that's why I snagged these. For reference, I'm a size medium, so medium for the top and then medium for the bottoms. The first one that I picked up is probably my favorite set from this entire video. This one was sold out initially and it was in stock in one size, which was my size, and that's when I snagged the last one. And this one is their signature swim tie bikini bottom, and it's in their airbrush beach scene print. And they had some really cute cover-ups that matched this print, and I still have my eye. I added myself to the waiting list because I feel like it's giving Miami vibes. I'm trying to go to Miami this year, specifically this summer, to go to the Gymshark gym, and I just felt like this would be perfect. And it's so different than all the other SKIMS Swim that I have that's just, you know, the cocoa color and like the beigey shades that look like your skin tone, and they're just kind of, you know, good staples, but I've had them for several years. They've held up really nicely over time, so I do think it's worth the $44 for the bottom. And for swimwear in general, it can be really expensive, but I feel like this is a good price point for what you're getting. The stitching on this looks pretty good. I've tried the tie bottoms silhouette before, however, this one fits pretty similar in the crotch space and then on the glute space. It's enough coverage for me. Again, I don't like the thong bottoms. Personally, I don't feel comfortable in that silhouette. And I don't like when bottoms are too wide or too high cut because I have a short glute and I have a shorter torso, but I also have very muscular legs, so the fit in general of swimwear is kind of a headache for me. But that's why I always tend to go back to the SKIMS, because they are made, I feel like, for shorter glutes, and there's enough coverage where it's not giving diaper booty, but it's also not giving too skimpy, if you will. And I like that you can tie the bottoms on this side to get the perfect fit for you, so very customizable. The front, I feel like, very covered in all the areas, and it's just very comfortable. It never slips or slides, and I actually swim laps and stuff in the summertime, so these I always find to be a tried and true bikini set to wear. And then for the top, I always go for the same silhouette because I just know what works for my body type. And this one is again in the beach scene size medium, and it's just their signature triangle top. So pretty with the contrast stitching of like the baby blue. I thought that was really nice, but right away I could see a little, can you see that? A little thread sticking out. We already knew what happened with Kylie Swim. Yeah, you gotta inspect your stuff because you just never know. And this still looks a million times better than that tangerine bikini that I purchased last year. So I'll just snip that little thread off. That seems to be the only thing that's different. I will say with this particular print, it is a little bit different with the ties. Like if you see the tie on the side, it goes into a very point and more skinny into the actual string. Whereas the other tie bottoms I picked up are the like original ones where they go into a bulkier seam here on the ends. So I would just say the beach one is a little bit more minimal. It still fits the same as this tie bottom, and this one is a really pretty print. They also came out with a brighter blue and green combo with the snake pattern, and this one is in the forest ombre snake in the dipped tie bottom size medium. So the only difference again from this tie bottom silhouette to the beach scene, because they're listed under different things and I see why, is it's just a little bit more minimal. I do like this. I like them both. And I didn't find them to fit, like I said, any differently coverage wise on the front or on the back, but I absolutely love this print. I felt like it looked really pretty on the model, and I think this will look amazing when I'm deeper in color and you got a little body oil on. So again, you can tie it and adjust it on the sides there, and this one has some yellow and some green going through the pattern. So I just feel like this is just so fun and so different to all the other swim that they've come out with in the past, and to introduce more patterns and prints I think is just so fun. Especially having a pattern in a neutral I think is going to be really wearable. So for that set, you guys see me wearing in the try on the matching tie bikini top. I always like to size up even though I have a small chest, because you can cinch it at the bottom. I would just prefer to have more coverage than too little coverage, and have more to stretch out if I want to make it more family friendly, or if you really want to get those minimal tan lines, you know, you can cinch it really small. I've tried the size small before. Again, it's pretty similar in size in comparison to the size up in the medium, but it's just personal preference. If they don't have your size available and maybe you really like that print, I think you could either size up or size down, just depending on what you're comfortable with. These also do not have any sort of cut pads in them. These are truly very minimal, and there's not even a slit to add your own. So keep that in mind. In some of the lighter, brighter shades, you might be able to see some nippage or, you know, an outline underneath. But in these prints, I don't think you have any worries with that. Again, I never really care about that because it doesn't bother me, but I did want to point that out in case you guys have never tried the Skims swim before. Same thing here. I see some like raggedy threads on the inside of the top. They are also double lined, and I never find that these are like see-through or anything, at least in the colors that I've tried. But again, the top is $44 and then the bottoms are also $44. The next one, which I saw in the Skims storefront, this new melon color. This one is the Cheeky Tinga bottoms, also in a size medium, and it's in the melon shade, which I think is such a pretty vibrant like sorbet color. I have self tanner on, and I just feel like when I'm darker, this is really gonna pop off. I don't have many like brights, so I definitely wanted to add this one into my collection. I never really know which bottoms that I want to get. It just depends, I guess, between the Tinga and then the tie bottoms. They both fit really nicely. This one I think has obviously a little bit more coverage. You don't have the ability to adjust it on the sides. So maybe if you don't know which one to go for, do you like to have your own custom fit? Go for the tie bottoms. But if you want something I would say that's more secure, then this is always a really good option. I swim in these bottoms as well. Never have to worry about anything. Maybe the only thing I have a concern with is when I get out of the pool and you know you're drenching wet, I use my upper body to just lift out of the water. Sometimes I fear the crack might slip out. I don't know, because it's very like short glute friendly. They're not the type of bottoms that come up halfway up your back, but I never really feel exposed. It's just like a thought, like, oh, I hope nothing's showing type of a thing. But I do really like this silhouette too, if I just want to throw something on and not have to worry about evening out the tie situation. This one, again, really great coverage in the front. I think Skims does a really good job with that. And the stitching on this one looks really good. So yeah, and whenever I wash these, I never put them in the dryer. And then also for this one, I got the same top as well, because I don't like to have a million different tan lines going on. And all of my Skims, I have this top, and it works perfectly for me because I have a nice deep tan all summer long, and I don't have a million different uneven tan lines going on. So that's definitely a hack right there. Again, adjustable on the neckline. I do think that they should have a little bit better quality control across the line of just Skims outside of just the swim, because the Nike Skims, baby, that was terrible for the price. But yeah, just some threads popping out, so gotta be careful with that. And I wash them in a laundry bag because like the strings and stuff. And then this one is really cute, you guys. I saw this in white available, but I know me with tanning oil, sitting on chairs, and I don't know, maybe I'll spill something on myself. I knew that was not going to work for me, so I ended up grabbing the dip tie bottoms and the almond bandana, also in a size medium. I have the almond normal set, and I was like, ooh, I could mix and match these two together if I don't want to have a matching set. So again, this one, really great coverage, same as the other ones, same full coverage in the front. I think this is such a fun print, and it is a neutral. I feel like this is closer to my skin tone, so having the pattern is really nice. Sometimes whenever I'm wearing just the almond one, I have to be a certain bit of tan to get away with wearing it. Otherwise, you kind of look naked, and I don't really always enjoy that. But this is going to be fun, like I said, to mix and match. And it has black, so if you have like a black basic top, I think, or even a white one, you could also mix and match that with this piece. And I definitely want to get my hands on just the basic black bikini set that they have, and the stitching on this one looks pretty good as well this time around. Good job. For the majority of these pieces, it's looking pretty good, pretty promising. And then of course I grabbed the little top. See how minimal it just looks? Like, ain't no way looking at this is a medium. But that's what I'm saying, you could always size up, or if you just want an itty bitty slither of coverage, you can go with a smaller size. And obviously with being able to tie it, you still get that custom fit. You know, maybe you'll get extra length, and that's always cool too. So all in all, I really like the prints that they have. I'm interested to see if they will be coming out with any more as we get closer to summertime. And they also have matching accessories, which I always love to grab a new beach towel that matches. They have one for the melon that I have my eye on. It's in my cart right now. And I just love to have a matching bikini with a matching swim towel. So I just wanted to show you how minimal you could get these. Is this made for a child? Like, you could really get minimal even with a size medium. I was really shocked to see nobody was giving reviews on the new Skims Swim. I wanted to see what the tea was. And hopefully this video today gave you guys a little insight on what's new and what I feel about the new Skims collection. I'm a big fan of the swim stuff. Primarily, that's usually what I tend to shop for these days, and they last me for several years. I'm gonna go pull one of my sets and show you the wear and tear. I feel like that's always helpful. I feel like some of my bottoms, the seams have kind of stretched, and that's what I want to show you guys. I think it's always helpful to talk about wear and tear so you can actually see, is this gonna be a good purchase for me, or should I save my money and go somewhere else? I remember last year I was getting dressed to go swimming, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on with my bottoms? But mind you, I've had them for so long. This one is the almond, so like I'm saying, if you have any of them, it's kind of perfect that I have some to mix and match. These are the same little bottoms, size medium, and my issue has always been with the stitching, not like pilling. I don't get any pilling. Like, even my pool, sometimes I'll lean up against the walls and I'm like, ooh, I probably shouldn't do that with the concrete because it obviously can pill up your stuff. So I'm always super careful and mindful of sitting on the pool edge and whatnot, but none of them have pilled on the actual material. So if that's your concern, you don't have to worry about that with the Skims Swim. It's just the stitching. Like, you could see my stitching from several years ago. It's starting to kind of pull the threads. And again, I baby my stuff when it comes to the wash process, and maybe it's just normal wear and tear. It's not like I've had this for like a month or two. It's been several years. I'll have to go back on my channel to see when I initially did that review. The threading in the seams is really where I struggle with majority of my pieces. Like, that's pretty bad. And I don't want it to unravel while I'm at the pool or anything like that. So yeah, just the loose threads. I would maybe knock that set to normal wear and tear. My more recent one was this red set, which I love to wear so much. I was kind of disappointed with the quality of the stitching here because for some reason they did this like white can you see like a white band? It looks kind of cheapy when it's stretched out. So that was one thing that I kind of noticed with time, and maybe that's because it's stretching out and it's revealing whatever's underneath that top seam. No pilling with any of these. So that's very impressive in my opinion, but again, just keep in mind that with normal wear and tear, the threads will start to loosen and look a little raggedy, and at some point you can't just keep cutting them off because it's gonna loosen up and stretch. So yeah, this one is just really bad, but wear and tear. The red was just made really poorly, similar to the tangerine. Like you could just see how this white, and mind you, this is the inside, how the white is just showing all the way through the seam. I don't like that, but you can't see that on the outside. I mean, I'll still wear these, I love them. But there is a new red that they launched, which I think is really pretty, so you guys can check that out in the description. But that's all I have to say about Skim Swim. Thumbs up, subscribe if you guys enjoy videos like this. I did film a couple more vlogs that I'll be posting this month pertaining to like my hair, things I regret about going natural. Oh girl, that will be coming up very soon, and some other fashion reviews as well. So stay tuned. I didn't forget about y'all, and I hope y'all didn't forget about me.